Hello YouTube, this is Mike and this is the 4 Things That Heal BPD and NPD Abuse channel. So, if you are a person who has been or is currently in a romantic relationship with somebody who suffers from cluster B personality disorder, specifically borderline personality disorder or NPD, then this channel is for you. And if you would like to be free of the pain that you are in, I don't care if you're in a relationship or you've been out of that relationship. Perhaps you've been out of that relationship for months or years or decades in some cases, but you still have pain associated with it. You still feel all of that anxiety and you want to be completely free of that. I have a very specific, very simple method that you can use in 4 easy steps that will allow you to become completely 100% healed and cured of your pain. If you wait till the end of the video, I will tell you exactly what those 4 things are. So today we're going to be talking about the pain associated with being discarded. And we're going to talk about why, even though you are continuously discarded, you are thrown away, you are rejected, you are lied to, you are betrayed, you are cheated on, and yet you still can't leave. We're going to go to the depths of the, forgive me for saying so, the pathetic, horrible depths that we end up being powerless to avoid in these relationships. So the 4 things that heal BPD and NPD abuse we will talk about, but we're just going to talk about the first one, which is perhaps the most important, because if you don't do the first one, you can't really get the most out of the rest. You can still do the rest of the 4 things, but if you don't do the first one and you don't do it thoroughly, it really won't work. And that first thing is to go completely no contact. So a lot of people have a misunderstanding about what it means to go no contact. And you may think that you've gone no contact with your borderline or your narcissist, but you haven't. And in fact, you may have told yourself that you have power and that you are exercising your power, when in reality you are a pathetic victim and you are being completely, totally controlled, and you don't have any choice about what you're doing. We're going to talk about that. So, in order to do that, I'm going to read some comments. A couple of comments from somebody who is watching my channel. Apparently this person is new, but still does not understand what the concept of no contact really means. And it's not their fault. Because bear in mind, if you're in these relationships, you have a filter. You see things through a false understanding of what reality is. So you only know what you know. I'm going to read this person's comment. It is not meant in any way to be demeaning or humiliating, but it might be challenging to hear if this is your comment. If it is, I mean no ill will to you. I'm simply, since you've commented, the whole world can see it. And 95% of us are going, oh, this person doesn't get it. And that's okay that you don't get it. I'm going to help show you what is really going on, and then you will have a choice. You can take some specific actions to remedy the problem, or you can choose to stay where you are. It's completely up to you. So this person says, in response to my video, why there is no closure after breakup with a borderline. And I'm sure that in that video at some point I said you must go no contact in order to heal. So this person says, and you'll see that this person in the first sentence doesn't understand what the term no contact really means. In the first few words, this person says, I always go no contact when my person breaks up with me. Let's read that again. See if you can pick out the discrepancy, the disconnect, where this person isn't understanding the term. I always go no contact when my person breaks up with me. Let's continue. Nothing. I disappear. She comes crawling back, wondering each time why I never tried to reach out. Clearly, she wanted me to beg for her. I told her I will never contact someone who leaves me. Plus, the first few times she left, I tried that and got no positive result, meaning I tried contact and got no positive result. I always just told there's no solution to our problems. I'll read the rest of it just for context. The 6 breakups in the past 12 months have never been about anything worth it, the smallest thing. She ghosted me and left me right before my marathon and my birthday in October because I said I thought it was too much to see her on the night she was planning to return from a long road trip with her favorite person. She flipped out on the phone with me for an hour and was gone. For an hour. She flipped out on you for an hour. Unbelievable. Anyway, when I told her I would never contact her if she leaves me, saying I don't know if she's met someone else, etc., how should I know the real reason she left me? She called me naive. All right, so the long and the short of it is this person does not understand the concept of no contact. You can't say I always go no contact when my person. That's not going no contact. What that is that you are patiently waiting for them to come back. Not bothering them by trying to contact them when they have left you for somebody else or even for nobody else, when they have discarded you. You patiently waiting and not contacting them is not no contact. That is doing exactly what they want. They say, listen, I'm going to go and do my own thing and or be with somebody else, and I don't want to see you, and I don't want you to contact me. And you say, okay, I'll be waiting here when you get back. In the meantime, you tell yourself, I'm not going to contact them, as though that, and let's be clear, what you're talking about going no contact is a desperate, pathetic manipulation. You are hoping that by going no contact, they will be forced to come back to you. And so, since you say, I always go no contact when my person breaks up with me, it means that you know that the breakup isn't terminal. She's going to be back. And you also know that you haven't gone no contact. You're just going to not talk to her while she is throwing you away and pushing you aside. No contact means this. No contact means that you make the decision that you are going to go no contact with them, so much so that you are going to make it impossible for them to contact you, and this last part is the most important, for the rest of your life. No contact means that you make it impossible for them to contact you ever again in your life. If you haven't done that, you have not gone no contact. So, commenter, the level of misunderstanding and the level of denial that you have about what you are doing is something we've all experienced. I've been there. I can remember waiting after she said, I can't have anything to do with you for whatever reason she came up with. And being the person that I am, not at that time understanding that she had BPD, okay, I decided that's it. Okay, she doesn't want me in her life. I will not bother her. And I went to work very hard to get her out of my system. Of course, it was very difficult. Every single moment of every day, I was filled with anxiety. Where is she? What is she doing? Is she going to call me back? Are we going to get back together? What if I had said this? Maybe if I call her and say that, and also feeling guilty, like, why am I feeling guilty? She's the one that left me, and I feel like I've abandoned her. I need to reach out to her, make sure that she's okay. And for weeks, I felt that until she called. And then, before she called, I had started to get my energy back. I had started to get my life together, and I'd started to wake up and realize, wow, I'm really better off without this person. My life's kind of crazy and chaotic and miserable when I'm with her. So I think I'm better off without it. Oh, is that my phone? Oh, it's her. Oh my God, I was just telling myself I was never going to pick up the phone if she called. Oh, hi, hello. Oh, you want me to come over? Okay, bye. So you're deluding yourself. Your form of no contact is that you have been thrown away. And you tell yourself you have power by saying, I'm not going to contact her. And you know what? She's going to come back and she's going to say this and that. And I'm going to tell her, no, I never contact you when you leave me, although I'll be here every time you come back. That's not no contact. That's just doing what they want. And you're deluding yourself that you have some control over it. This person has another comment. And says, I always felt once I finally have the courage to end the relationship, it will be over for good. So let me help you with that. You're saying in that sentence that you don't feel that you have the courage to end the relationship and that someday you will. So this is the same kind of whistling in the wind that we have when we're with our borderline and we say that, if I can just love them enough, this time they'll never leave me. They're afraid of intimacy. They're afraid of being rejected. So what I need to do is pour enough love onto them to make them melt, and then they'll melt in my arms like a helpless little homeless kitten, and they'll love me forever. And someday, I almost had it. This last time we almost had it, and then she just lapsed a little bit. And that's because I didn't show her enough. If I can just do it better next time, it'll never happen again. So you have this hope, and your entire relationship is based on the hope of what you've never had and what you hope you can finally get. And in this case, you, perhaps even more sadly, have the hope that someday you'll have the power to do what is necessary to protect yourself against an abuser. And someday you'll finally have enough courage to end it for good. But until then, you're then going to tell us about all of the painful things that are going on. She's currently on our vacation with her favorite person. Let me just step back and show you again how sad and pathetic that is. Not in an attempt to make you feel bad, but in an attempt to make you realize that you are choosing to do this, and you are choosing to be in a relationship where somebody continuously hurts and devalues you, and that you do not have the power to leave. And that is, she is currently on our vacation with her favorite person, which means that you know that you are not her favorite person. Why are you with somebody where you know you are at best number two? You are choosing to do that. Healthy, self-loving people don't do that. I'm not judging you. I did the same thing. And then you say, she's currently on our vacation with her favorite person since she left me in March. This is May 26th. April, May. She's been out of your life for 2 months. Let me repeat that. She has been out of your life for 2 months. What is it that you think is happening? There isn't any relationship. There is nothing going on. Whatever connection you think you have does not exist. It is all in your mind. You are living a false reality. You have deluded yourself. And as you say, the sad part is you don't have the power to leave. I completely relate. So the 4 things, I told you I would tell you the 4 things that you can do to completely be healed. Not only not be in the relationship, because that's only the first step. And most people, myself included, when they're no longer in the relationship, they still can't stop with the obsession. They still can't turn their feelings off. They still can't stop pining away and obsessing over where they are, what they're doing, and what you could have done better, and the feeling of, oh my God, what I've lost, and it was so amazing, and it was so wonderful, and how sad is it? And this means that you're actually not disconnected from them. You are energetically connected, and even if you've been away from them for months or years, in this case, again, 2.5 months. This person threw you away 2.5 months ago. A healthy person's moved on. They moved on after the first couple of weeks. You're 2.5 months into it, waiting for her to come back so that you can put your hands on your hips and tell her, you know what? I never contacted you, and I will never contact you when you leave me, so there, and I have all the power. And where are you going? Okay, you're going to call me in a couple months? Well, I'm not going to call you. It's very sad, it's very pathetic, and you are nothing but a plaything. You are being used and tossed around, and you don't have the ability to understand that there never has been a relationship. It has never been anything. So the first thing that has to be done is you have to go no contact, but that in itself won't end the energetic connection. If you don't go complete no contact, which again means making it impossible for them to contact you for the rest of your life, what that means is you also won't know. You won't know. You have to go no contact to such a degree that you don't even know if they've tried to reach out to you. Now, I didn't say that was easy. He said, but I can't do that. She has my phone number. I can't do that. She knows where I live. I can't do that. She knows where I work. So if you go no contact, it means you are willing to throw your phone in the river, completely get rid of your phone number, completely block them on all kinds of social media, block them on your email. Also, moving. Well, you own your house? Well, too bad. Go sell it. Sell your house. You're willing to move to another state. You're willing to do absolutely whatever it takes to make sure that no matter how hard they try, they can't find you. You have friends together? You stop hanging out with those mutual friends. I didn't say it would be easy. But you must be willing to absolutely kill any possibility of any connection ever happening in the future. If you don't do that, you haven't gone no contact, which means that you will still be energetically connected. Even if you don't see them. That's how they feed off of you. This person knows that you will be there when she gets bored of whomever she's with. And you know that's what's going to happen. She's going to be with that person for a couple of months. Then she's going to discard that person and come back to you. And that person is going to be exactly where you are. But you won't care because you'll be so selfishly wrapped up in that relationship. You won't be thinking to yourself, wow, there's another person out there that's feeling exactly like I did. And you know, after a couple of months, they will get tired of you and they will throw you aside and go back to that other person or however many other people they have in their life that they use as objects to consume and throw away. So Going no contact is permanent, and it is a psychological, very serious thing that you're doing within yourself to break off being a source of energy for them. You are a source of narcissistic supply if you are, even if you're not talking to them, even if they've discarded you forever, if you're still thinking about them, and if they wanted to find you, they could, you haven't gone no contact. I made it that clear? Make it completely impossible for them to contact you for the rest of your life, meaning you won't even know if they've tried to contact you. That's what you do when you give up your drug addiction. You want to give up your addiction to heroin, then you can never do it ever again. All right, so that's one. Number one is to go complete no contact. Number two is to work all 12 steps of CODA.org. That's Codependence Anonymous. Or whatever 12-step group you want. I didn't say go to meetings. I said work the 12 steps. Now, in order to work the 12 steps, you're going to have to go to some meetings. You're going to have to get a sponsor because you can't work the steps without a sponsor. A sponsor is somebody who has worked the steps before you. That's all that they need, is to just be further along than you. And they have to have worked the step that you are now going to work. And you work all 12 steps. My suggestion is to work the 12 steps as quickly as possible. Lots of times people take their time, but whatever it is, as long as you are continuously working the 12 steps, you are on the road to real recovery. Those first two things, going complete no contact and working the 12 steps, is absolutely essential. If you don't do those things, in my experience, it is very likely you may never completely heal. Number three is to work with a psychologist. Now, some people can't afford working with a psychologist right away. That's okay. Wait until you can afford it. Even if you don't work with a psychologist, you can still completely heal. A psychologist, lots of people will do 1 and 3, but they won't do thing number 2. And those people, in my experience, never truly completely heal, because the 12 steps, in my experience, is the only way that a non-disordered person who's in one of these addictive cluster B relationships, the 12 steps are the only real source of healing. The thing number 3, working with a therapist, works really well and will enhance your 12-step experience. By the way, never ever work with any therapist who says the 12 steps don't work. Any therapist who says that has no business counseling people. They are unprofessional, and they are usually narcissistic, and they're extremely damaging. Don't listen to them. There are no shortage of therapists out there who will encourage you to work the 12 steps while you're working with them. Any therapist who doesn't do that, I wouldn't work with them. So thing number 3 is to work with a therapist along with doing your 12-step work. And then thing number 4 is to have a daily meditative or spiritual practice. I don't care what that is for you. Walking in the woods, writing poetry, meditating, going to whatever religious service of your choosing. Have some daily spiritual practice or meditative practice. When you do all 4 of those things, I guarantee you, I'll say it again, when you do all 4 of those things, I guarantee you complete, total healing from that relationship. What does that look like? It means that you never think about them, not because you're trying to deny them, but you honestly never think about them. The same way you never think about a hangnail you had a year ago. Did I have a hangnail a year ago? I think I might have had a hangnail. And yeah, I remember it being really painful. Like filled with pus and got infected. I remember that. Anyway, what were we talking about? It'll be like that. It'll be like you vaguely remember you had this really crazy relationship with this really messed up person, but it's completely out of your memory. Not only that, you will have 0 negative feelings. If you do think about them, you won't be angry, you won't be sad, you won't feel lonely, you won't feel anything other than a very distant, disconnected compassion for them. The same way you hear about some person in another foreign country has a problem, or there's a tragedy in the other side of the world. You go, oh, that's really sad. Anyway, what were we talking about? It'll be like that. You will think about them and you won't have any pain and you won't have any anger. You will realize when you look back on that relationship that you were deluded, that you thought you were in love, but in reality there was no love going on, that both of you were using each other for whatever psychological purposes, and that there was no real connection ever. And so when you have that awareness, you won't feel any loss any more than you will feel the loss of that hangnail that you got rid of when you went to the doctor and they surgically removed it. All right? So that is my guarantee to you. If you do the 4 things, you will be completely healed to such a degree you will never even think about that person. The only reason that I think about my borderline ex is because of this channel. And as long as people still keep coming onto my channel and I see that it's being helpful, I will keep uploading videos. My goal is, however, that you will actually do the 4 things. You will never need to come onto my channel. My hope is that this message gets out to everybody who's trapped in these cluster B abusive personality disordered relationships. And it will become common knowledge the same way it is that when you get certain bacterial infections, you go to the doctor and you get some penicillin and it's gone. I want codependence to be like that. That you go to CODA, you work the first thing, you go no contact, go to CODA, and then you get healed, and then guess what happens? This will no longer be a problem. That's a big if. That's probably not going to happen in my lifetime, but my goal for you is that you never have to come back on my channel and watch these videos because you don't need to. And like me, I don't think about it. The only time I ever think about it is when I come on this channel to see if there's something I can do and say that might be helpful to others. So there you go. Full no contact means that you make it impossible for them to contact you forever. If you haven't done that, you haven't gone no contact. That's all for me. I wish you guys all the best. I will see you all next time.